Hi, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm Alexa, for those of you who are new, and for my new subscribers, thank you so much. Your support really means a great deal to me and helps me very much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Today's chit chat is about your dreams. When are we too old to dream? I mean, I'm 75, for those of you who don't know, coming very, very close to 76, which is in March. So, am I too old to fulfill my dreams? Or am I sort of crazy to have a dream at my age? Um, and why haven't I fulfilled my dream already? So I mean, we have dreams when we're young, when we're in our 20s. You think about, oh, I'm going to marry a millionaire. I'm going to be a movie star. I'm going to be a rock star, whatever, whatever your dreams are then. But when you retire, you have more dreams. And mine, things overtake that. Life gets in the way when you're making plans. And that's basically what happened for me. I started another career in my late 50s, early 60s. So it was, I'd had a high end career, and it was really, a few years of doing nothing was really difficult. So I started my catering business, and I had a international corporate catering business, which I started in 2007, and it was going really, really strong. And then in 2011, we just hit that domino effect. One thing after the other just started happening. A high end catering business for corporations. I work for multi-million-dollar corporations and billionaires and movie stars and all sorts of things. And that's a very high end, high demand job. You've got to be on top of your game all the time. So being in pain and not being able to do your job, yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. So that all started happening in 2011, and then my mother died in November of that year, and then it was just downhill on a fast raft. I mean, you're just like into the cellar. So it was really difficult. So you couldn't sort of do anything with my business. I worked a great deal in France and Italy, and I realized that for me, I loved France. I loved the culture. I loved the people. I loved the scenery, the area. I loved everything about France. And I thought, yeah, this is where I want to end up. So my dream was to, move to France and buy a place. Of course, the original dream was to buy a chateau and open it up as a wedding and events business and carry on my catering from there, without having to travel all over the place, and just do it from there. So that was my dream. But when my knees went, and they had to be replaced, and then dealing with my mother's thing, and then my sister got a divorce, and all these sort of things sort of all started going, and then I had like medical issue after medical issue. My God, all the bits in my body that were superfluous to need had to go. And it was just one surgery after another. So it was like a couple of surgeries a year, or even in one case, I think I had 4 in one year. But so that sort of put you on the back burner, and you couldn't do it. I know for a lot of us, it's a financial thing, or, one of you wants to do it and your partner doesn't want to do it. And for those of you who are like me, who are single and don't have any family responsibilities, it's sort of like, is it fear or is it just trepidation? In my case, it was a situation of not being able to make up my mind. Should I live here? Oh, no. Oh, there. Oh, shiny object. Oh, there. So it was constantly, that commitment. You get to the edge and you think, oh, okay, I have to sign that check, and this is all my money, and I'm gonna make this. Ooh, what's gonna happen? So it turns out to be very, sort of fear gets in your way, and then something else happens, and then something else happens, and then when my sister got a divorce, and we were talking about, this is what I want to do. I want to move to France. And she was like, no, I didn't want to do that. That was a few years ago. But now, with the political climate, the way it is in the States, she's come around to it now. So we are going to go. So in May, I will be going to France to look for somewhere for us to do. But we have whittled it down from a chateau in the country to, renting somewhere for, a couple of months here, a couple of months there, until we decide exactly where it is we want to be. Because now that there are two of us, you have to make sure that you balance out everything. My sister likes to be out in an urban area in the countryside and away from people and so on and so forth. Me, I want to be able to bicycle to somewhere and be around people and be near the sea or some sort of water feature. Although in France at the moment, that's not a good idea. But those are, so you have to come to terms with that, and we have to find a balance somewhere for us for that. But yes, the whole point of it is when are you too old to have a dream, and when is it impractical, or maybe just stay where you are or whatever. But I'm of the philosophy of nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you sit at home and think, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then just don't do it because of fear or because of, whatever your reasonings are. But, when you're on your deathbed, I think it was Oscar Wilde or something who said that, when you're dying, you regret the things you didn't do, not the things you did do. And I think that is extremely, well, I think it's true. It definitely is true. That you regret what you missed out on. All of those indiscretions in your life that nobody ever talks about. You don't regret that because you've learned to live with it and deal with it over the years. But when you had the opportunity to do something and you didn't take that opportunity, that you regret. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. And I think that is the moral of the story is, yes, if you are able, go and do it. I mean, since I've been researching it, when I started this channel, I watch a lot of other channels and the people that are doing what I want to do. And there are people that are older than me, in their 80s and single, who have moved to France and bought a house or moved to Spain or Italy and bought a place and are DIYing it. No, I'm not going there. I'm a 5-star kind of girl, No, I'm too old to wield a paintbrush anymore. But yes, so people are doing it, so there's no reason why I can't be one of them. So that's what's on the agenda for me. But I appreciate you tuning in, and I do appreciate your subscribing. So please, subscribe and support my dream. And please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. Just tell me what you think. But thanks for tuning in.